This week had so much potential. Skirting was scheduled to go in, fencing plans were in motion. We even made a dent in the to-do list ourselves. But it also came with a different kind of weight, the kind that doesn't show up in time-lapse footage. Skirting didn't happen Monday. There was a delay by the manufacturer to get the correct color product to the installer. It's not the installer's fault, and from what we hear, several other members in the community are facing similar delays. But then, plot twist, we got confirmation Thursday that they would be out on Friday morning, and they actually showed up. They finished half of the installation before an emergency came up and they had to leave. They promised to return Saturday to complete the work, just in time for the predicted freeze Sunday night. After 60+ days of waiting, the house is looking more permanent now. While we waited for the skirting saga to unfold, we took matters into our own hands with the stair project. The property owner recommended we paint the exposed parts of the sides of the stairs before skirting installation. It'd be much harder to access it afterward. So Brian added that to his to-do list and got it done. It only took about an hour and a half. It was so satisfying to get it done and not have to worry about trying to cut it in later. Brian wasn't just painting stairs, he was painting away some of that waiting frustration, doing something, anything that we could actually control. It's funny how these little projects feel so much more satisfying here than they used to. Back at our old house, painting some stairs would have just been another thing to check off the weekend to-do list. But here, it actually feels like a real win, like we're making progress, even when so many things are out of our control. We also met with the fencing crew. Finally. After months of waiting for the skirting installation, we walked the property and mapped out our fence perimeter and discussed gate locations. Seeing them actually measure and mark potential fence lines made this long-awaited project feel real for the first time. The fencing will create a secure outdoor space for the dogs. After 4 months of being on leashes for every bathroom trip, they're more than ready for some freedom, and we're ready for them to have it. We were supposed to meet at 4:30. They texted at 4:44 to say they were running late. And honestly, we were thrilled just to get a text, because we thought they forgot. That's where the bar is now. Simple communication feels like exceptional customer service. We got their bid and made our payment, so we should be on the schedule soon. Though we've learned that soon is a flexible concept in construction time. They also mentioned that they would add more gravel to our walkway now that the drainage work is finished. The recent rains showed that the drainage improvements are working. No more standing water around the house. A few little moves, although still nothing glamorous, that move us closer to what we envisioned when we started this journey. But the hardest part of this week didn't happen on site. It didn't involve contractors or materials or weather delays. It showed up in our mailbox. We got our 2026 health insurance renewal notice, and the unsubsidized premium, $2,800 a month. That's $33,600 a year just for health insurance, not including deductibles or out-of-pocket costs. That's just the right to have it coverage. Now, don't get me wrong, we expected to pay for our own coverage. We planned for it. The Affordable Care Act Marketplace gave us a plan we could afford with a subsidy based on our estimated income. We knew it would be a chunk of our budget, and we built that in. What we didn't plan for was the subsidy potentially going away, and the price jumping by nearly $2,000 a month. That's an additional $24,000 a year that wasn't in our calculations. Let's put that in real terms. We pay $950 a month for our tiny house lot rent and all utilities. That's $11,400 for the entire year. This health insurance, at $2,800 a month, just 6 months would cost more than $16,000, more than our entire year of housing expenses. Like many Americans in midlife, we're facing the reality that healthcare costs can significantly impact life choices. After decades in the workforce with employer coverage, navigating this new landscape is challenging. It's not that we didn't plan, it's that the rules are changing, making it harder to be self-employed. This is the invisible cost of freedom that no one talks about on Instagram or YouTube. The pretty reels show the views from the tiny house windows. They don't show the spreadsheets or the hours spent researching healthcare options. So, where does this leave us? Figuring it out. We're researching alternatives. There are pathways forward, they're just not as clear or simple as we'd hoped. This whole lifestyle shift was about freedom. Freedom from the pace and the pressures. But what we're learning is that freedom still has friction. Breaking away from conventional systems means you have to create your own solutions. We knew this part, which is why we went through the marketplace to make sure we were covered. Sometimes you don't always get answers right away. You have to sit with uncertainty longer than feels comfortable. And sometimes you just paint your own stairs. You focus on the small piece that you can control right now. We don't have all the answers, but we're not stuck. The second half of this week brought unexpected momentum. Not just the half-completed skirting, but also progress on the carport and storage building. After months of waiting, we were handed the keys to our storage building, and all that is left to do is the electric work. That small moment, the weight of actual keys in your hand, represents something larger, tangible proof that projects do eventually finish, even when the timeline stretches beyond what we expected. These aren't just construction milestones, they're quality of life improvements that bring us closer to the vision we had when we started this journey. And honestly, despite the challenges, the tiny house itself continues to be everything we hoped for. The smaller space, the connection to nature, the significantly reduced expenses in every other category. Even with these unexpected bumps, we're still spending less and living more intentionally than we were a year ago. This journey isn't just about a smaller house. It's about redesigning an entire life, including all the systems that most people never question until they step outside of them. Some days, that's exhilarating. Some days, it's exhausting. Most days, it's both. We'd love to hear from you. What's your solution to health insurance coverage outside of traditional employment? Maybe share a small win that helped you stay sane when bigger things weren't going as planned. Drop a comment and let us know. We're figuring it out as we go, and every little step counts, even the ones that don't show up in time lapses. Next week, we'll share whether the skirting installation and electrical work was completed as promised, and if there's any movement on pet fencing work. Until then, we'll keep finding that balance between patiently waiting and taking action where we can. Thanks for coming along on this journey with us. See you next week.